Make sure to subscribe to Ben on YouTube so you can stay up to date on everything Humble.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Ben Humble here. Today, I want to know, is your money all gone? Is it gone, and now what? Who lost their money? Who lost money in the stock market? I talked to some people yesterday, and one guy lost like half of his net worth. So it's interesting to me, like a lot of people have their money vested. What should they do? How do we understand money better? So today I've got a special friend of mine, really good bud named Chris Naugle's in the house. And Chris is my boy. Chris is the star of HGTV show Risky Builders. For those of you guys that have seen that pilot, that series that was on show. Also owns the Real Estate Money School podcast. This dude understands money. This guy knows what I'm talking about. He's the founder and owner of Money School Education Company and the author of The Private Money Guide. I got his book right here, folks. And if you guys need to get started and understand financial stuff a lot better, the markets, how money actually moves and how it works, grab my boy's book. Chris Naugle, welcome to the show, my man.
Woo! Let's do this.
Look at this guy, man. Excited. Okay, how are you, brother?
I'm doing great, man. Doing great.
Good to have you on the show. So happy for your insight and your perspective. I know you're going to be able to drop a lot of value for folks here today. Do we really expect Canadian households to bail us out of the economy again? Chris, let's talk about this, man. What's the consequences of a bailout? Teach us a little bit, man. How does money really work? Because I think a lot of folks are a little bit confused about this. Would you share some insight with our folks here, please?
Yeah, money doesn't work the way that we've been taught money works. You know, everything we've been taught about in our entire lives has been to give up control of our good dollars. We literally have been taught to give up control our entire lives, whether you're putting it in the banks, whether you're putting it in employer-sponsored retirement plans, you are giving up control in the anticipation of being paid back someday later with weaker dollars. And that's the biggest problem. Like the most important thing going into this crisis that we have to all understand is we need to take back control. And so many people don't understand.
That's a bomb, bro. That's a bomb.
I heard that's a good bomb. We're going to do lots more bombs, but you got to get back control of your money. If you don't have control of your money going into this, you're not going to be the one that's able to take advantage of opportunities. Because really, this whole crisis can be looked at as either an obstacle or an opportunity. What is it to you? Do you see an obstacle that you don't know how to get through, or do you see the opportunity that this is going to bring? Really, that's the question. And you know what? Opportunities are going to be presented to those that prepare, those that are ready, and those that have the right mindset.
Dude, I love that.
What I'm saying?
I love that because you're talking about focusing on the positive instead of the negative. We talk a lot about glass half empty versus glass half full kind of mindset and focus. So can you spot an opportunity? An opportunity to me equals skill plus chance. So we all have the chance, but do we actually have the skill and the mindset to possess to see that as an opportunity? Look at that. I'm crushing books already. Keep going on this, man. This is awesome.
All right. So let's go back to control. So we've been taught our whole lives to give up control, but this is that point in your life where you need to draw the line in the sand. You need to take back control. So how do you, let's go back to control. So we've been taught our whole lives to give up control, but this is that point in your life where you need to draw the line in the sand. You need to take back control. So how do you do that? Let me give you 3 key takeaways that you guys can do and that you should be doing right now. First off, you're going to think I'm crazy. Everything I'm going to tell you is going to be against everything you've been told your whole life. So just get ready for it, because crazy is what changes the world. You guys remember Steve Jobs from Apple? We're going to talk about his company, and we're going to talk about he was crazy enough to think he could change the world. And guess what he did? He changed it. So you need control and you need money. And a lot of people are like, yeah, that's great, but
Did you say, hold on, did you say you need money?
Need some money.
Okay, keep going. You need more money.
Yeah, you got to have more money. If you're not in control of your money and you don't have money, well, you better figure out where money is. And guess what just happened? Money just became really easy to come by right now.
We came to Canada in 1991 with nothing but a will to thrive. They risked everything they had, left behind everyone they knew.
The only way out of the country was illegal, and the risk was huge.
I adopted the mindset that my parents had of faith and vision for my life. You see, they helped me understand that you get to decide what happens in this world. By the age of 30, I became a millionaire. I refused to accept scarcity, limiting beliefs, or someone else's excuses. So you want to know what the secret is? People ask me all the time, what's the secret? You want to know what it's going to take for you to succeed? Here's the truth.
So let's talk about where that money is. Well, no matter what country you're in or what city or state you're in, there's banks. And at those banks, you probably have lines of credit. If you have lines of credit and you've been so good about paying them off and you paid them all off, or even if you didn't, what you should be doing right now is taking that money out of those lines. Because if we can learn anything from the past, in 2008 and 9, when we had our crazy, great recession here in the States, the banks froze our lines, didn't they? We thought we had all this money, right? And then all of a sudden, the stock market crashed. And what do? We lost our money. You just talked about that. Right now, that's happening over again. The banks aren't getting hit right out of the hole. But how long is it going to be before we get our bank lines frozen? So what are those lines? Those lines could be your home equity lines of credit. In Canada and the States, our real estate values have climbed, have grown since 2009, haven't they? They've gone up and up and up. True or true? What? Now, the money.
That's true. That's true. In the last few years, the market's been going up, rallying like crazy, overextended, which means there's a lot of debt in the system, a lot of credit available to us. Dude, I love it. Keep going. This is the topic I need to cover. This week. This is what we need to get into, bro. So
put me in the game, coach.
Let's
all right.
Go,
so
let's go. Keep going.
You got all this equity in your house, or people have all this equity in their house. So what are you going to do with that equity? Are you just going to leave it there and let it just be lazy? I want you to think of equity in your house this way. You go to work and you work really hard. We've been taught to work hard, and then you come home from work, you're exhausted. It's late at night, the lights, it's dark outside. You open the door and you look to your right, and on your couch, your money is sitting there, and your money is watching your TV. It's been drinking your soda all day. Your potato chips are all over the floor, and you look at your money, and your money looks back at you, and your money says, "What? Did you have a hard day?" That's what your money's doing. Your money's lazy. It's sitting on your couch. If you're not tapping into your hidden equity, the money in your house, what good is it doing you?
Yes.
This is that point where you gotta tap that equity, baby. You gotta tap into that equity. So if you haven't, you
want to tap some equity?
We're gonna tap some equity, baby.
Right,
let's get some tapping going on.
All right,
you gotta tap into that equity. If that equity is there and you're not using it because you don't want the extra payment, now is the time. Get access to your money and don't worry about those stupid extra payments, because those are gonna happen. If you took all the money from your lines of credit and your home equity line, you're gonna have some extra monthly payments, right? And a lot of people are concerned about that, but here's what you need to think, and listen to me carefully. Cost is only an issue in absence of value. Cost is only an issue in the absence of value. What is the value?
Write that on the screen. Yo, Hans, put that on the screen. That's freaking awesome. Say that one more time. Nice and slow for me, because I'm a little, I failed math 2 times in high school. So
cost is only an issue in the absence of value.
Dude, not abstinence, Hans. Absence. Okay.
Absence.
Keep going. All right. So explain what that means, because that is a critical bomb right there on the show today with my man Chris Naugle. Talk to us.
This is where everybody doesn't think about money the right way. What is more important? Having your money in your control, in your access to your money to take advantage of opportunities, or leaving your money in the bank because you don't have a monthly payment if it sits at the bank. But then what happens when the bank takes the opportunity for you to access that money away?
Right.
That's a big problem. And then when an opportunity comes at you, like Apple drops another 40%, that might be an opportunity. Or, well, no, if it did drop, or we're even where it's at. Or if real estate values dropped 20 to 30%, wouldn't that present an opportunity? But if all your money,
real estate, you're talking about real estate dropping now as a relation to everything else. But everybody else is sitting on the fence saying, well, Mr. Humble, I don't want to borrow any more money because I'm going to have to pay it back. Folks, you're always going to have to pay it back. The question is, it's never been more fiscally responsible time for you to have access to capital and keep your liquidity high, because if the right opportunity does present itself, you're just assuming your line of credit's going to be available to you. So keep going on this topic, but I just want to preface real quick. I'm draining my lines of credits and I'm going to cash.
I just did this the other day. The other day. I took all the money for all my lines, right? And they were all paid off. I felt good. I paid my lines off. I didn't owe the bank money, but I just drained them all. And now all the money's in your bank account, right? So you got this money and you're like, yeah, Chris, and Ben, I don't know what to do with that money. Good. The opportunities haven't yet started. Just be patient. Patience is a virtue. Your money's in your bank account, but now you got another problem. You guys ever hear?
Patience requires like discipline, though. That requires people to go to some old world things, called not having instant gratification and having hamburgers and cheeseburgers every day. I don't know why I'm going to hamburgers and cheeseburgers, but listen. Kevin wants more money. You want more money, though? Like, you have to develop some kind of discipline around money, folks. Look, I like Chris because this is real talk. In fact, you got to come back, man. This is a great episode.
Oh, we haven't
real
even got
talk,
warmed up.
bro. This is
What?
real talk because, folks, I know a lot of times we want, but there has to be a cost somewhere.
Yep.
It has to cost you something. So maybe today you got to lay off the expenses. Maybe today you got to tighten the belt. Maybe today you got to call those credit card companies. Maybe today you got to live in a state of preparation so that when the market does offer you an opportunity, you can be prepared to take advantage of it versus sitting on the sidelines and saying, oh, man.
You understand what I'm saying?
Keep going.
All right. So now you got all this money in this bank account because you just took all those lines and now you're worried because you have extra payments. Again, find another way to pay the monthly payments. Go through your attic, your basement, your garage, and find all your old belongings that you don't use anymore. Sell them on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist. Find a way to pay these costs because those are nothing. Because
To
I'll
become
tell you
resourceful. Become
Yep.
resourceful right now.
That's all this
Okay.
is. If
Okay.
you don't have the resources, you got to get resourceful. This is the story of my life. But now let me talk about the second problem that we are just getting to. We took care of one problem. We emptied all of our lines and now we have access to money. Okay. Now, what if they call martial law? This is maybe in the United States and they're already seeing signs. I don't know if any of you have gone to your bank account and tried taking more than $5,000 or $10,000 from your account. But if you have, what you've realized is the bank is saying, oh, Mr. Naugle, you can only take out 5,000. Or the other day, I heard you can only take 3,000. And just today, somebody on my morning session said, oh, I was only allowed to take 1,500. What is that? That is you losing control. So what should you do? Play the shell game. You guys ever remember, like back when you were a kid, like the game with the cups where you slide the cups around? Where is it? Which one? Nope, not that one.
I made my living playing that game. Actually,
Okay,
that's right.
so now we're gonna play that game with your money.
Communism.
We're going to play that game with your money. You're going to take the money as soon as you get out of those lines of credit. And what you're going to do is you're going to move that money around into different bank accounts, commercial banks, community banks, and credit unions. Spread it out, $5,000 to $10,000 per bank. And if you're really smart and you really listen to what I say, you know what's way smarter than banks? Insurance companies, mutually owned insurance companies. You should try to find ways. Why? Because they've always been safer. They're bigger. They're mutually owned. They're not regulated like banks are. And if your money's in insurance companies, you're earning a much higher interest rate. How much? Well, I can tell you in Canada and US, the banking concepts I teach with the money multiplier pay you between 4 and 6.2% on your money. How would you guys like to be making 4% guaranteed on your money right now? Whoa, yeah.
Is it accessible? Like, here's the question people are going to ask, dude.
Absolutely.
Can I get it out, though, if I need it? Or now is it stuck in this kind of insurance policy?
It's just like your bank account, folks. You put your money in the insurance. Now, this is not you just running out to your local insurance shop getting it. You have to understand. This is not Geico. This is not your normal whole life insurance policy that you're going to buy. This is specially designed. There's only a couple people that know how to do this. And I know the people in Canada too. Yeah, it is. But this is what the wealthy do, folks. Don't think I'm the only one that knows this. This is what the banks do with their money. This is what the wealthy do and what they've done for hundreds of years. They take that money and they move that money through whole life policies into the insurance company's general accounts. Those general accounts pay you a guaranteed 4% plus dividend, which is about 6.2 here in the States. So now you're earning 6.2, but you're thinking, yeah, but Chris, I need control, man. You just told me to get control. I need my control. You got full control. You want that money? You go and you click a button and that money shows back up in one of those different bank accounts. Spread it around. And you know what the nice thing is? When you got money in insurance companies and insurance policies, and again, specially designed insurance policies. I just want to be clear about that because someone's going to come back and be like, man, that didn't work. I didn't have any control.
You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. You click a button and the money shows up and not one person ever asks you, well, what are you using that money for? How many times you gone to the bank and tried taking 10 grand or more out? The person at the bank goes, how much you need? Just 10 grand. And they're like, okay, Mr. Naugle, you have to fill out some paper here. This W-9, because you got to pay taxes on this. I went, what are you using the money? What are you using the money for? Well, why is it any of your darn business what I'm using the money for? It's my money. Well, we have to be careful. You're not laundering the money. Really? But seriously, like, folks, how many of you know that that's real, right?
Well,
that
the more information they have on us, the more that they know, the more they control, and that's what it comes down to. Dude, this is powerful stuff here. We got to keep rolling through these segments, but this is powerful stuff.
Let's move back to one more thing, right? So now we took our money from our lines of credit. We spread it out among different types of banks. Maybe if you're lucky, you got the money in insurance companies. So now what? Well, now you sit back and you wait for the opportunities. And what are those opportunities? They're all over the place. But I know for a fact, Ben, there's somebody watching this right now that's sitting there saying, I don't have any money. I don't have lines of credit. I don't have one of those fancy, specially designed insurance policies.
You're not bougie enough.
So what do you need to do? You need to learn how money works, because you know what the most important problem that every single person in the world has right now? They're all losing money. They used to make money in Wall Street, and guess what they're making now? Nothing. We're going to cover that. So now you need to be the shining light in the darkness for every person you know, your friends, your family, your coworkers. Talk to them about this. Talk to them about the opportunities you have, your business, your real estate deals. Go out there and show them how your opportunity will solve their problems. And folks, what are the problems of America? Their problems are not your problems. They're simple. The problems in most families is, how do I pay my car payment? How do I take my family out to one more nice dinner when this whole thing's out? How do I take my family on vacation when this is all over? Because I need money to do that. You folks, listen to me. You folks have the answer, and it is your opportunity. You're the shining light. So go out there and show them what you know, show them your opportunity, and pay them. Pay them 5, pay them 10% on that money, pay for their loan payments, plus then offer to pay for their car payment. What does it matter to you? So be willing to
be fiscally responsible. Like we talk about this a lot, but somebody in your household has to. Somebody in your household has to be the person who's financially responsible and willing to move it forward and be the person of credibility and confidence in the family, because they don't teach this stuff. Jump over here to this next segment here. Consumer proposals, by the way, in Canada are up. Consumer proposals, when people ask for, relief, they say, hey, I don't want to pay my bills, can't pay my bills. They're actually up over 20% in 2 years. Guys, more and more people are asking for a bailout. And we talked about this on yesterday's show. There's going to be a consequence in the price that you're going to pay at some point. On the next one, we've got the Canadian household debt and as it relates to the GDP. Look at Canada, folks. Chris, isn't this crazy? Like
I didn't know this. That's
more
crazy.
And more debt is being taken on by Canadians, literally from 2005 to 2019, a significant increase in the debt. Somebody's going to have to pay this off. There's only so much we can keep kicking this can down the road. But, we're not practicing safe, responsible finances, folks. I got to call it what it is. I love y'all at home. I love y'all. But how about that? You're not being smart with your money, okay? We're not being smart. We're not being wise. We're investing it in things that have nothing to do with anything. We're spending it on stuff that we got no business buying. We got folks making $20 an hour, and they're trying to buy new homes. They're trying to squeeze everything that they can. They keep like rolling. It's crazy to me. Let's go on to the next segment here. Look at this, Chris. Let's talk about this. U.S. stocks, historic Fed boost, fails to stop Wall Street's coronavirus-driven sell-off. Dude, the S&P experienced a $9 trillion wipeout as its value since the benchmark index hit its record low last month. The S&P is down over 34% from its February low. It's the lowest level since fears of the coronavirus swept across Wall Street. Here's the question people want to know, bud. How do you lose $9 trillion? Who put it in a flatbread? Who drove it out the country? Where did it go? I'm so confused. How do you lose that kind of money? Because I can't lose $9 without somebody noticing. What happens to the trillions? Where is it, bro?
It didn't just get vanished, right? Money doesn't vanish. It changes hands. One person
Whoa. What do you mean? You mean China didn't take it? Russia didn't take it? Romania didn't take it?
No, your neighbor, somebody that knew something more than you knew, took it. But they didn't just take it. It just changed hands. You see, there's never money just evaporating, right? Either the government's taking it from you in form of hidden tax called inflation. When they print all this money, these big injections of money, where do you think that money comes from? It comes out of thin air, folks. They just print it. And where does that money get value? It steals it from our current dollars. Remember I said earlier, your dollars today are worth the most. They're worth the most. And if you don't believe me, how many candy bars could you have bought 20 years ago for $1? A hell of a lot more than you can today. Today, your dollars are worth the most. And tomorrow, with all these bailouts, with all these fiscal, injections of money by the Fed to save this, your dollars are going to be worth less. It's called inflation. Not only that,
did somebody else get this $9 trillion, or did it just disappear? Like, what happened to the trillion? That's where people get lost. They're like, how can you lose $9 trillion? How can there be an exchange of wealth? If the market goes down, let's talk about some basic level stuff because we can get advanced in a second. But when the market goes down and people who own stocks in the company, right, and those stocks are obviously inflated, the price that they trade at is not the price of what they're naturally worth. They trade at a PE or a multiple. So if a stock trades at a 25 PE, it's trading at 25 times its earnings. That's called a PE ratio. When a stock drops in value and it loses 30% of its value, of its market capitalization, right? Where does that money go? And the truth is, there are people just like who are betting for the stock. There's also
Betting
people
against
betting
it.
against the stock.
And
those
you
are called
all-
put buyers.
Yeah,
right.
you've all heard of shorts. You've heard of derivatives. Warren Buffett.
What do you
says
mean shorts, dude? What do you mean, like pants with no legs?
Yeah, like me, like I'm super short. No.
By the way, if you guys are interested in real estate investing and you are in Canada, I wrote a book here called Real Estate Secrets Exposed. Learn how to actually make money virtually, which is cool, from the comfort of your home. Yes, it is possible if you understand the value and how to do wholesaling. And if you don't know anything about wholesaling, you need to grab this book. It's absolutely free. There's no page numbers. There's nothing else in there. It's just ready to go, though. Humble.ceo to grab your free copy.
Shorting is basically just a simple way of saying they're betting against the market going up, or they're betting against the direction, because you don't just have to bet against the market going up. You can bet against the market going down.
Yep.
And it's called derivatives, and it's called puts and calls, and there's all sorts of fancy terms. Don't get too tied up in it. This is for the advanced traders. But the advanced traders, when the market started going down, when we lost 3,000 in a day, people became billionaires because the market goes down so fast. These people, they literally sit back and they just wait for these opportunities. And when these opportunities come, they're going against the market, and everybody else that's in the market, their money is just basically going to them. Like I said, money doesn't disappear. It changes hands.
It changes
one
hands.
loses, another one makes.
You get nothing. You lose.
Here's a good example
day,
of that.
sir. You get
good day,
nothing.
sir.
You
Okay.
lose.
So,
Good day,
but listen,
sir.
it's a risk and reward relationship, folks.
It
When
is.
you buy into the stock market, you are buying into risk, and you're making a conscious decision to participate in a market where it's volatile and it moves up and down. If you want some reference on this and you want to get like just a basic education, wasn't there a James Bond movie where the guy goes, the villain, to he buys a whole bunch of puts? I remember this. He buys a whole bunch of puts on an airline, and then he goes and attacks the airline to create like the right. Which one was it? Find that Bond movie for me.
Wow, that would be genius, but
that was
would
the
be a
Bond
terrible
movie,
thing.
but that was the whole plot of the movie. I want to say it's like the 007 with the green one.
Can I scare everybody a little bit? Like, let me just show you some facts. These are the things. So
You're already scaring us because we're Canadians. Oh,
but it's all right, because again, earlier I said in an obstacle, some people see an opportunity, and that's what you should see. But right before this whole thing happened, I just want to give you a few. The CEO of Disney stepped down. The CEO of Tinder stepped down. The CEO of Hula. The CEO of
sounds like you're on my last episode.
Salesforce, Harley Davidson, IBM, T-Mobile. Why did all these people step down? Why did they all step down right before this? Did they know something? Well, you know what? Here's the thing, folks. If you want to get ahead of this, if you want to be the person making when others are losing, and that's a terrible way to look at it. You have to be ethical. You have to get the knowledge of how money works. You have to understand what's coming. Folks, I haven't been in the market in well over a year, and people laughed at me a year ago. They said, why would you get out of the market? You're missing it. The whole market's going up. Trump is doing such a great job. The economy's crushing it. You're a fool. And I sat there and I said, yeah, I am. I am a fool with a big laugh. And you know what I did?
Yeah,
And you know what I did?
Tell us,
Folks? I
man.
was sitting at the top of the mountain. I was overlooking the clouds, looking at it and watching the sun come up and sun go down, wondering, there's going to be a day when I'm going to pick and choose where the heck I want to go. Well, you know what? I'm still at the top of the mountain, picking and choosing where I want to go. And I've been saying it for over a year that people should be fiscally responsible, and they should do what Warren Buffett says, which is buy low, sell high, and don't lose money. You cannot not lose money if you don't follow 1 and 2, if you don't buy low, which we all know how to do, but nobody knows how to sell. Greed is bad. Okay, not good. Just like Wall Street, greed is good. Greed is bad in the case that it makes people follow the blind off the cliff, and you just saw that happen. How many times did people need to be told that the market's high, but yet they kept piling money in because their advisor said, put money in, put money in, put money in. They get paid, folks. Who are you getting your advice from? Who is teaching you how money works? Is it people that are getting paid to teach you? People that are getting paid to buy and sell things to you? Well, wake up. We need to take control of our money, and that's the problem. We don't have control. And this time, here, they don't. But right now,
why is that the case, though? Why do people not have control? I think here's my synopsis, right? Folks, when people tell you to move in a direction, you have to question the underlying intention. Maybe they don't even know what's going on. Bring up the chart here, Vin. I'm going to pull this up here real quick so we can talk about this. Ready? Let's go. There we go. The charts. That's good, right? We're working on that. So why does this happen? It comes back to the same thing I talk about every day. By the way, I got a comment here in the section saying, this show is freaking fire. Thank you so much. We'll talk about it. Mr. T wants to know, are you sitting on the sidelines being liquid? Yeah, that's a great question.
Oh,
we'll jump in
absolutely.
a second. So in the VIX, folks, you have to understand that everybody is running in the same direction. And when somebody tells you that, hey, you should buy this equity, you should buy this stock, you should do this, you should buy this mutual fund, if you're getting that advice from a person who makes money giving you that advice, You have to understand they are a salesperson, no different than the guy at Home Depot. In fact, they may not be more qualified than that guy to talk about stocks. Because most of those people are not millionaires through real estate investing or stock investing or mutual funds or anything else. They got themselves a certificate and being a whatever, a manager or being a Primerica representative or whatever they are, and they're talking to you about complex instruments that nobody truly understands. And if you don't believe me, go watch the movie The Big Short.
There you go. Bingo.
Go watch the movie The Big Short, where it shows you exactly how many people were buying into this narrative of buying all these equities and stocks and companies. And one guy says, what is the underlying value within these positions? And nobody could answer that question.
That's right.
And he goes on this massive hunt to figure it out, only realizing that the majority of those loans were not actually A class. They're all subprime garbage that were coming up for death and termination. So how about that, right? So the VIX, although it's dropping a little bit today, we talk about the sentiment, being between 10 and 20 for the last little while. It went all the way up to 80. It's pulling back a little bit. We're still twice as much fear and volatility in the market than we're typically used to, folks. I think that this thing is so scared that what's going to happen is people are in a state of panic and they're in the fight or flight mechanism, right? Like right now in Canada, people are going back to work. They just listed all the different occupations and things that should go back to work, which is hilarious because 2 days ago, like, stay home for the next 6 months. Nobody should go back to work. And all these essentials, non-essentials are coming back. Things you won't even think are essential apparently are essential. But you have to take control. This is why I needed Chris on the show here. Chris, people need to be in control, dude.
I know they do. They absolutely do. And they need to be in control of not just their lines of credit, not just their bank accounts, but their retirement accounts too. If you could have got out 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, just because somebody said, well, maybe the market's high and I think it could go lower. But then you call your advisor and your advisor says, stay in the market, or you're watching the talking heads on TV and they say, stay in the market. You got to be in for the long haul. How does that feel right now? Who is in control of that, folks? I'm just trying to get you to think about what's really going on here. I spent 16 years as a high-level financial advisor. Do you think I know why I'm saying these things to you? Because I was one of them. I was one of them wearing the rosy-colored glasses, being like, oh, it's all okay. It's all okay. Just put your money in. Here, I got this product for you. I got that product for you. What do you want? And as a bonus, I'll lose you 50% of your money. Do you see what I'm saying?
Do most of those guys have more products than brains?
Yeah, more. Dude, why don't you look at what there was a thing, I don't remember where it was, but why is it that you take a Rolls Royce to Wall Street, but yet your advisor rolls in, your stockbroker rolls in on the subway? I don't need to say anymore. And I'm not trying to listen. This isn't to hit on advisors. I love advisors, and there's a lot of very good advisors. I'm simply trying to get you guys to understand what's happening and how you don't have control of your money, and you don't have control because nobody's ever taught you how to. Because there's no money in teaching people how to control their destiny. There's no money in teaching people how to be their own bank. There's no money in people teaching you to move your money through insurance companies to do that. There's just no money in that. There's so much more money selling you a product, selling you a regular life insurance policy that pays them a big old commission. I could go on for days, but we don't have time. But listen to me.
Dude, I got to drop that because you said something really critical. There's no money in educating you. Seriously, there really isn't. There's money in the greater fool theory that we talked about a couple episodes ago, right? Yeah. Passing the buck on to the next person. The reason why most people we have the chart up. Bring the S&P up real quick. The S&P is up here. Look at this. It freaking drops from 3,400 down to 2,200. Like, folks, this is a massive decline, and people are living this woulda, shoulda, coulda. If only I would have got on at $3,400. Why didn't you get out then at 32 last time, or 3,000 or 28? You're not getting out because you're not thinking for yourself. You're following somebody else, like my man Naugle says, over a cliff. And when it falls over a cliff, here's the crazy part. Human emotion and psychology will never change. It'll always be the same. When greed is greed, greed is greed. It begets more greed. When fear is fear, you will run out, you will be scared, and you will hang on for dear life like a roller coaster. Instead of getting out of the way, you're trying to either catch a falling knife or you're trying to ride it all the way down and back up again. So even though the S&P has a little bit of a bullish day here today, folks, it's still a massive drop here, right? It is a massive drop in the last little while. Pull up the next chart here, Chris. I want you to talk about this. Here's the interesting story I found. Up until a couple of days ago, there were $2 trillion companies in the world. And as of today, there's only one left. Apple and Microsoft each lost about $400 billion each during the latest market sell-off over the last month. Analysts weigh in suggesting Microsoft is a better buy over Apple at this stage. Apple dropped 2.12%, leaving the stock market at $982 billion, second on Wall Street only to Microsoft's $1 trillion value. Microsoft also fell 1 point. There is only one stock, one company worth $1 trillion, and it is Microsoft. So in the race of cap rate, Microsoft seems to have won. So Bill Gates, good on you, bro. But just to show you, like, you can't control these things. Look at the Apple position here, folks. A big indicator in the stock market
is the moving average.
Dude, look at the 200-day moving average, which is the blue line on my screen. This is the massive long-term support system for any stock out there. So we use kind of the 20, the 50, and the 200-day. That's what I use here. So the 200-day is a big long-term. This is an exponential moving average. When it breaks below the 200, we're in bear territory.
Yep,
we're moving to the bears, man. We're
Yep.
done with the bulls. We're now in the bears. The question is, where's the next level of support? Because that's been a trend line, a support system for this stock. So where's the next support? It looks like on a rough chart, if I gauge it and I go down, it looks like 100. What is that? Oh, there we go. What do we got? We got about 200 seems to be the next logical support. Dude, 220 right there. 220 going down here to 200. Chris, how do you lose, man? How do you go from $1 trillion to $1 billion? Dude, that's a big move.
It's simple answer. It's called fear. It's called fear. And the biggest problem right now is not Wall Street. It is not banks. It is fear. The whole world is crippled and paralyzed by fear. You ever see a deer in headlights? They just freeze. Everybody just froze. Main Street is shut down. Businesses are shut down. Businesses are going out of business, and they will continue to. People will lose their jobs at record levels like there. And if you guys think this is the worst of it, wake up. Because it's not. Because you just saw that chart. If you think Wall Street just bounced today and you think it's going to, it's all good now, it's going to go back up. Okay, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but just like you, I think we got a long way to go, which is why I'm not buying. I bought 2 particular stocks. And you know why I bought those 2 stocks? Because I love the companies. When you had that chart up about Microsoft and Apple, they're both great companies. Doesn't matter what they're worth. And if you love those companies, buy those companies, but understand they're going to go lower. And understand when they go lower, you should just hold them. If you're going to jump into the stock market right now because you see an opportunity, love the company. Love more than just what your pocket puts
Love
said.
the company. Love the fundamentals.
Company.
Love the underlying security, not just jump into it because it's hot and latest and greatest. Dude, how many zeros in $1 trillion?
Too many. I can't count that high. I'm just a
how
simple
many
guy.
zeros in $1 trillion? It's 9. 9. That there was a funny joke there. What?
You understand what I'm saying?
9. There are 9 zeros in $1 trillion, folks. 9, just in case you didn't know. There's Microsoft chart here real quick. Also dropping below the exponential 200-day moving average. Actually dropped down a couple days ago. So boom, look at this thing. It's taken. We got to move on to the next segment here, but this is amazing stuff. Guys, give my man, Chris Naugle, some thumbs up, some awesome comments. Give him some love, some support. Woo! Give him some love and the thing. Dude, Chris, you dropping massive value for my audience today, and I really appreciate you being on the show here. So, Chris, guys, I want you guys to grab a copy of Chris's Money Guide. This is a great little book here. Where can they do this? We're going to throw this on the screen. There it is. Oh, what kind of link is that, bro?
That link right there?
That's the one that's going to work. Okay,
yes.
So bit.ly.profitmoneyguide. Chris, how can people get a hold of you going forward? What's the best way they can get in touch?
Instagram's the best way. Chris_Naugle. That's one of the great ways. Facebook, but you got to go to my business page because I'm maxed out on the personal. But either one of those social media channels is the way. And grab the copy of the book. But we're giving something for free, right?
What are we giving for free?
I'm going to give everybody, I'm going to give all your audience this book. I just did the audio book for this out at Capitol Records, and I want your audience to have it. They need this book.
Look at that. My man's giving away free gifts on the Data and Drama Show. We love free because we love stamps. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Guys, make sure you grab a copy of this. Chris, let's jump on this topic real quick while we wrap up the segment. Dude, how much bailout can we really expect? How much can we really take from other people before there's going to be a consequence?
I think you're going to, well, there's already going to be a consequence. So don't anyone think that like there's some like magic number that's going to be a consequence. The consequence is right now. Just like my watch says now, that's the consequence. It's happening right now. So you just nailed it with they want you to give up control because then they're in control. That's the whole point. You need to take back control. That's the only thing you need to think about. So when you're looking at this whole thing, where do you want your life to be? When did we ever just lay down and think that everybody else should solve our problems? These are our problems. So solve them, band together, come together as a nation, as a world, and take back control. My God, it's like This is our time. And it's our time where we're going to give everything up or we're actually going to take it back. It's your choice. You can either be the light in the darkness or you can be part of the darkness and just have no light. Your choice.
Hans 9. Dude, that is so fire. You know what? We're on the same mental bandwidth on this piece because, folks, depending where you come from, depending on where your history is like and what your experiences in life are like, you're either more subdued or more willing to fight controversy, the oppression, whatever you see. I am one who's willing to fight. I will not lay down and die. I will not lay down and let everybody else take care of me. I refuse. It's a sense of responsibility. Some of you folks at home have this trigger and you're like, I refuse to lose, because right now, the people that are capable, the people that have got their mindset right. That's why I keep talking. Personal development is huge, right? Read the book. Get into some books. Get into some right information. Get into personal development. Show up every day. Show up. Work on your mind. Work on your body, your health, your relationships. Work on this stuff, because then you can be equipped to win when other people are running away and scared. So you're talking about all this stuff that I love. It is not time to be passive. Chris, any final thoughts here for our viewers today?
Yeah, absolutely.
Real quick. Troy has a question. I have liquidated my assets and have it sitting in the bank. How do I get into the insurance you mentioned earlier? Maybe touch on that real quick.
Yeah, the easiest way is it's not as easy as you think. So you just got to get a hold of me, find me. And I hate to say that, seriously, you'll make mistakes. And I'll connect you with someone. If you're in Canada, I'll put you in contact with the people in Canada that know what they're doing, how to create banking systems, and I'll solve that problem for you.
Boom. Look at that. All right. So parting thoughts here for our folks.
Parting thoughts. Very important. And these are from Will Rogers. You guys have heard of him. The problem, and this is in America, the problem in America and Canada is not what people don't know. The biggest problem is what they think they know that just ain't so. Start questioning who gives you the advice and start questioning the people that are telling you to do things. If they're not where you want, if they haven't failed getting where you want to be, they're not the right people to take advice from. Learn from the past. And one other thing that's really important here, and this is another topic, don't mean to go bonus, but you guys have to understand, if you're going to get through this, you're going to have to help people. You have to lead from the front. No more sitting in the chariot, letting your people pull you. Get in the front of the line. And one more thing. Right now, I'm making a commitment, and this is for me. You guys can decide. If you're self-employed, find a way to keep your employees working, because the employers, the leaders that keep their people working, that lead from the front and that push as hard as they can, no matter how bad it hurts, are the ones that are going to change the world. Steve Jobs said it. The ones crazy enough are the ones that are going to change the world. I'm crazy. Are you? Ben's crazy. I know he's going to be there with me. You're either going to sit back and wait, or you're going to join us in this movement. That's all there is to it.
That's right, dude. My ass is crazy for sure. I totally agree with that sentiment, brother. I think it's time to either be a leader or don't. Like, a lot of people talk the big game. A lot of people want to be in leadership positions. Now is the time when it matters. Are you willing to put your own desires on hold? Are you willing really like to dive into your bank account to keep your people employed? I fully agree with you there, man. When everybody else is running away and they're scared with nothing to do, I jump on and start a brand new show, take massive action. I bring so much more activity. My team has been busier right now than they were in the past. You know why? Because it's important you push when others recede. If we were in the middle of a war, you would have to take action and grow and push. You can't be in the middle of a war and just drive away. They're going to follow you. They're going to execute you. It's time we do something, folks. It's time you step up. Be the person in your family. I say this with love in my heart. Be the person in your family who makes a conscious decision that you're going to be the one who's fiscally responsible. Regardless of what goes on around you that you don't have control over, you've got control over your mind, your actions, and the things that you do every day. So stay focused, my friends. Stay humble, my friends. God bless you. Make sure to grab your free copy of Real Estate Secrets Exposed. And the time is now, my man Chris Naugle is saying. By the way, go check out my dude. Dude, where do they follow you? On Facebook and Instagram at Chris Naugle?
Yeah, or go to moneyschoolrei.com/TV. Moneyschoolrei.com/TV. Join me for the movement. Boom. There you go.
There you go.
Join me right there.
Moneyschoolrei.com. Let's join my boy here. There's actually a couple of my friends on this page here. You notice my other man, Mr. Rude, is in the background there chilling. But yeah, check out my man, Chris Naugle. Folks, it is the same people you're going to see in these circles. It is the same people you're going to see that are winning. So God bless you guys. Stay humble. Stay focused. Chris, thank you so much for being on the show, my brother.
Hey, it's Ben Humble. Thanks for checking out the show.
If you like what my guest is talking about and you're getting massive value from it, then scroll to the bottom, open up the description, and follow them on social media. Support them, connect with them. Just scroll down there, click the link, and let's roll. Stay humble.
Make sure to subscribe to Ben on YouTube so you can stay up to date on everything Humble, featuring daily episodes of the Humble Podcast and weekly video content providing motivation, real estate strategies, and personal development for everyday life. Also, follow Ben on Facebook and Instagram for daily interactions. Check out humble.ceo and download a chapter of Ben's new book, From Communism to Capitalism, absolutely free.